Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to teach one tool from the DevOps, and the name of that tool is Ansible. And I will teach in a way that if you will practice with me, you can sit in the exam EX294 and you will definitely qualify if you will practice and sync with me and if you follow every lecture of this playlist. So let's go to the our tool, that is Ansible. Okay, so you can see this is the Red Hat Certified Exam Engineer RSC exam EX294. If you will practice with me, I am sure that you will definitely qualify this exam. It's the Ansible Automation Platform exam. Okay, so let's start our tool, that is Ansible. What is Ansible? Ansible is a configuration management tool. Configuration management tool. Now you will ask, what is configuration? For configuration, I will give you one example. Like everyone has cell phone and everyone has clicked the image or photo from your cell phone. So everyone has did some settings in your camera. Go and do some settings so you can get the photo according to your desired. Someone wants beautiful images, so they increase the brightness or make the beautiful. According to that, they do some settings by yourself or manually in your camera so that your photo can be according to your desire. That is configuration. You are configuring your camera according to your desire. So what is your desire? According to that, you are configuring your camera. That is configuration. And you are doing manually in your cell phone. But in your system, in a Linux environment, the Ansible is a tool that will do by writing some command, by writing some code. It will do automatically into your Linux environment. So this Ansible is a configuration management tool, and we will understand in deep we will understand in deep whenever we go, and it is developed in 2011 and it is occupied by Red Hat in 2015. It is an open source and it is automation configuration management tool. Okay, now I will teach you from very basics to advanced level, so just listen and try to understand the things. Now you want to think that you want to be an entrepreneur. For that you have one idea, and in this rapid world you can see that everything is on internet. So if you don't have any website to pitch to reach the customer, you will be lack in this rapid world. So for that you have to create one web application or mobile application to reach the customer. For that you will hire one developer. That developer write that application in some language. Suppose think that it is written in a Python. Now you have one app according to your idea. Now you want to run this app. So how you will run? Look, think that you are writing one code in Python. How you are writing? And what are the things required to write and run the code in the Python? First, you need the laptop. What is laptop? That is physical hardware. So you need one physical hardware. On that laptop, one operating system is there. And on that operating system, what is there? Your Python runtime. Your Python runtime is there. So on that Python runtime, you write the code, and that code is run according to your whatever. Sorry. Yeah, you write the code and your code will run. So for running a code, you need one physical hardware. Upon that, you need one operating system. Maybe it is Linux or Windows, but you need operating system. And upon that, you need to install one Python runtime, that is Anaconda, Jupyter Notebook, PyCharm, anything, any runtime you can install, and on that your code will run. So same here, your application is written in Python. So to run this application, you need Python runtime. Okay, to run this application, run this application, you need Python runtime. And in Python, you know that there are lots of modules. So some modules are occupied by some modules used by the developers. So some modules is also required. Some library or modules, that is same application that will run into the environment, production environment. So some networking thing is required. Some security also required, and lots of things are there, thousands of things are there that is required to install on your operating system to run this application. Okay, so these things you have to install on the top of your operating system, and this is the thing you will install, that is known as configuration. You are configuring your OS to run this application. Okay, now you everyone has listened about the cloud. So now the thing is very easy. No one to need it is not required to purchase the laptop, physical laptop. Just go and you can buy cloud. So for physical hardware, you need to cloud computing there, which will provide the physical hardware and OS. Through install the operating system on the physical hardware, that is cloud, you need a tool that is Terraform that will automatically install the operating system on the top of this physical hardware. And this configuration, for this configuration, there is a tool. That tool name is Ansible, and Ansible will configure this all this thing, install and configure. Okay, to run this application. So now you can understand very easily that what is Ansible and what it will do and what is configuration. So let's move forward. Now you can ask that we can manually install all these things on our operating system. Yeah, we can do. That is also possible, we can do. But for doing manual, human being will do, and human being, human being is slow. Human being is smart, but it is slower than the machine. Smarter than the machine, but slower than the machine. So configuration we can do by two methods. One is manual and one is automation. For manual, human being required and human being is slow. And it might be lots of server there, so you have to manually go to all the servers and install one by one. Maybe you forget one thing to install, so might be that application will not run according to your desired properly, and maybe it will not reach to the customer. So for that, we go for automation. Automation is also there are two way to do the automation. One is traditional way and one is new technique. What is traditional way? You know shell scripting. Everyone know about shell scripting. So using scripting also we can automate. And using shell scripting we can automate this. We can do all these things, install all these things on OS using shell scripting. But the thing is that shell scripting is an imperative language. What is mean of imperative language? Imperative language means you have to say what to do and how to do. You have to write what to do and how to do in the shell scripting. Now what to do? Like I am giving one example. So install Apache web server this this server. Apache web server in this server. So Apache web server in Red Hat, its software name is HTTPD. So you have to say which web server, that is HTTPD. You have to say HTTP web server you have to install, and you have to also say how to do. If it is Red Hat, then you have to write the command yum install HTTPD. As we know that in Red Hat, yum is used to install the software. But thing is that if it is Ubuntu, CentOS, Fedora, and Windows, different type of operating system is there, then what? Then you have to write the separate code for all the operating system. It is not possible that one code will run on the all operating system. And thing is that if you will write the different code for different operating system, then it will require more time, and it will, for writing that code you have to hire the developer for different operating systems, so it will also increase your revenue. It will cost too much for writing the different codes for different operating system. And the thing is that in this world things are changing very rapidly. New version is coming, so there's a little bit change, something changes in new version, some commands change, then that code will again fail on that new operating system. So for that again you have to write the different code for that operating system. So this is the issue in this traditional way shell scripting automation. This is how to do. This is the challenge. This is the challenge in traditional way automation. So to mitigate this challenge, the new technique came. New technique. There is a language that is YAML. One code is written in a language that is YAML, and this is a declarative language. Here you have to explain only what to do. No need to say, write how to do. Only you have to write what to do, and it will run on all the operating system. Same code will go and run on the different operating system and do the same thing. So this is a new technique. This is this thing what we want. This will reduce our cost of making the servers, and this new technique is done by the Ansible. This is the tool Ansible. This is done by the Ansible. So now you will understand what is new technique, and new technique requires YML. It is declarative language, and here we have to explain only what to do. So now you understand what difference between traditional and new technique, and why we don't to go towards the shell scripting or traditional way. Okay, so here, yeah, okay. Now the now we move towards the Ansible. Look here. Suppose one developer is Eric that write the code in YML, and the things that they have to do is making some directory and installing Apache web server. They wrote the code and they push that code into all the operating system, same code, RHEL6, Ubuntu, Windows, CentOS, RHEL10. Now in RHEL6 yum command is used, in Ubuntu apt command is used, Windows different command is used, RHEL10. So but here Eric wrote only one code. This code will go to the every operating system. They will ask what command you use, and according to that, using that command, they will make directory and install Apache web server on different operating system by using a single code. So single code will run on the all the operating system. Okay, yeah. Now there are some competitors of Ansible in the market. There Now, Ansible is a configuration management tool. It is occupied by Red Hat in 2015. It is automate the configuration. Whatever configuration we are doing, here, here you can see that this new technique is done by Ansible, and it is automated. It write one code, and that code will do everything. So Ansible is automating the configuration. Now, human being, what we need the user requirements. What are the requirements? And we have to write only what to do. Then it require device OS and configure this one. It will go to the OS and configure what are the things, configure networking, security, and what are the things we write in that code. It will go to the OS and do everything. And this is done with Ansible. There are some competitor in the market. that is Puppet, Safe, SaltStack, but most of the company are using Ansible. So we are going towards the Ansible. Now you will say that Ansible is there. So how the Ansible know? Like you are sitting on your system and thousands of systems are running in your server. You write your code in Ansible in one system, and that will code will go to the here. That code will go to the different operating system, and here one code go to this operating system, this operating system, this operating all the operating system, and do the things. Now you can ask how this code will know that on which operating system we have to, or on which system I have to go. So for that, Ansible need IP address of the server or system, and the code where code is written on one laptop or one system. So one system is here, and this is second system, third system. For like this, thousands of systems there. So you have to install Ansible on one system, and the code written on the system or that node is known as a control node, because that is controlling other nodes. And the node where the code will go and install the things and configure your operating system, that is known as the target node. Now the thing is that how the Ansible will know on which target they have to go. For that, every operating system has the IP address. You know, if you will go in Linux and type the ifconfig, you will see the IP address. If you go in Windows and type ipconfig, you will see the IP address of the Windows. So for that, every system has a IP address. So Ansible, there is a on control node, there is a file that is known as inventory file. On in that file, we will write all the IP address of the target nodes where the Ansible will run their commands. So Ansible will see the inventory file, see the IP addresses, and according to that IP addresses, Ansible will go. For going or for connecting to that IP address or that server, if the operating system of that server is Linux, then it is use SSH networking, and if it is Windows, then it is use WinRM network. And according to that, different networks use and connect to that server, that target, sorry, that target, and install the software and configure that operating system according to that. So this is the inventory file. It is in the control node. What is control node? The code is written on the node. The code is written on the node that is known as control node, and you have to only install the Ansible on only the on control node. No need to install the Ansible on all the target nodes. You need to install Ansible only on the control node, and in that control node you have to write the inventory where you have to write all the IP addresses. So by looking at IP addresses, Ansible will go using some network and connect to that IP, connect to the target node, and configure the system. So in this way, Ansible will know on which server or which operating system they have to go. Okay, so that's all for this. We will see the Ansible setup and more things in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.